Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is the weekly recap. I've got a busy day planned. Well, it's already a quarter to one. The day just disappears. So let's get right into it. First up, we are starting with Etsy. I had a few sales this week. I think 15 of them, 15 or 16, and you know, it's good. It's slow, but it's good. I'll take whatever at this point. So first up, I sold a 1940s Milton Bradley combo game chess, checkers, backgammon set, and some wooden carved chess pieces to go along with that. It was missing the queen, I believe, and that ended up selling for $32.89. It went to, I want to say it went to Louisiana. Then we had a vintage blue Wilson tennis racket with the head cover, and that went out to California and sold for $65. It was actually $28, and the rest of that was shipping, and it took every bit of that to get it out there. They're just really long. They're just really long items to ship, and of course, it goes from here, East Coast, all the way out to the West Coast. Second, or next, we sold a set of 8 yellow bamboo paper plate holders. Now I'm curious, do you use those things? I always want to ask people sometimes, like, are you using that for like holding a paper plate, or are you using it for like crafts or something? I don't care what it's being used for because I sold it and I made my money off of it. But I'll tell you what, those paper plate holders, you can get a wicked bad splinter from them. Like, that shit's sharp. Ask me how I know. So I don't even like handling them, quite honestly, let alone trying to balance a plate of food on it. They're neat looking, and of course they're very nostalgic, whatever. But I'm always curious. That sold for $31.81, and that went to West Virginia. I actually just shipped that out today. Next, we have a blue and white ginger jar by Andrea Bisadek. I think I had 4 of them, different kinds, and this was the last one to sell. And that went, I can't even remember where these are going now, but it was $35. And then we had a vintage needlepoint in an oval frame, and that sold for $35. I just can't remember where they went. Then we had, I had a bunch of plastic clothespins. Some of them were Penley, some of them were from Denmark, and some of them were just like generic. And I sold those for $30, and they went up to New York. I believe they're for a gift because this lady was like stressing about it getting there on time. But they're out for delivery today, and she didn't need them until the 30th. So, yay. Next, we have another set of bamboo plate holders. This time it was a natural colored set of 6, and that sold for $23. We had a vintage Howard Miller World clock. I always think clocks are super cool. I could buy and have bought many, many clocks. I just think it's neat, especially the old timey kind of clocks. But this one sold for $100 and went to New York. Then we had a vintage U.S. Army Fort McClellan, Alabama red felt pennant, and this Army base was decommissioned a while back, so I wasn't gonna cheap out and sell this for super cheap like some of the pennants, even though it wasn't in the best, shape. But stuff like that is rare, and it actually sold, made $70 on it, and that went to Alabama. Had a vintage Sherman Park office accessory, a perpetual desk calendar. I took the pictures on June 4th, probably listed it that week, and it sold. And that sold for $41. Then I had a handmade Leopoldo terracotta cup, Mexican folk art. It's pretty. It has this beautiful dark green glaze on the inside, and someone just gave it to me. They were downsizing, and I listed it, and it sold for $34. Then one of the holdouts from the second Langston lot that I ever bought, which had these gigantic cardboard boxes filled with like tablecloths and placemats and all manner of things. And this had 3 handmade teapot cozies, which I didn't even know that was a thing. It's not like I drink tea, so I don't know. But it's so pretty. I love the fabric. I love the pattern on it. And that finally sold. I want to say I have one more. Or maybe that was the last one. I don't know. But it sold for $23. Then this is a consignment. It was a gigantic blue blown glass pitcher. And that went to, God, I want to say Missouri. And sold for $45. Then I had a 1970s Jorgensen metric converter pencil holder. And I hesitate to even list things in metrics because I had this one measuring device and it was made over in Sweden or wherever, and you can clearly see metric, milligrams, grams. And this person bought it and then left a crappy review because it's not in like gram, or it's in cups. It's not in cups. Like, I'm just like, sometimes US citizens can be so incredibly stupid. Really. Like, use your internet for converter if you don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. I'm old. I've never had to learn how to convert. Way back in what? 2nd grade, 3rd grade, something like that. I've never had a job where I had to use metric system, so I just don't. Is it lazy? I mean, if I had a reason to use it, I'd use it. I'd learn it, but I don't. So I have other things to do with my time. But I don't bitch about it if I run across it, that's for sure. Like, look at the damn description. Look at the stupid, like, pictures. I have some French language books that I'm getting ready to list, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. So, big letters, very clear. Let's see what happens with that. Anyways, it sold for $33. Hopefully, it won't be a thing. So there was no sales on eBay, so we'll just skip right on over that. eBay, what the hell? And move along to Facebook Marketplace. Then I had a rubberized lace tablecloth. This thing is so pretty, honestly. And again, it came in that big lot of 2 cardboard boxes from Langston way back in the day. And I've had it forever. I had it listed and drop price. This person finally offered $15. They picked it up today. And then kind of quiet too. Had a lot of chatter and questions, but nothing like concrete. I ended up selling 3 things off of Facebook Marketplace. First one is this gigantic, this is also a consignment piece, Washington DC print, and that sold for $55. Then I had an Asian lightweight piece of art, and that was just given to me, and he got that for $35. And then I had, the last thing was a pair of ashtrays, and they sold for $22. And so that wraps up the sales recap for the week. I had another sale come in. Let me see what it was actually. I just haven't had a time to do anything about it. Oh Lord, yes. I have this grapevine and chicken. Here, I will just show it to you instead of trying to find it on my computer. So this thing sold for like $15, I believe. But my thing is, I'm stressing because all these little things at the top, those are dried grapevines and they are fragile. And I noted it in the listing. Very delicate, all capital letters, very delicate, and may not survive 100% intact during shipping. We'll see if she paid attention and read it. But anyways, sold that for $16, and that is it. Y'all have a good one. I am going to do a video of some things that I bought a year and a half ago. I don't even remember what's in the box. But it's one of the last boxes that I have to really go through, and it's just a bunch of the little teeny tiny miniatures and smalls, but at least they're easy to store. So look for that video soon, and if you haven't, check out the endless yard sale from the Highway 301 thing that I posted all the videos, 2 videos of the first day, the second day, and then the haul, the things that I got. I still have to do the video for the more modern stuff that I'm going to post on my new eBay store, which I have already started. But, you know, there's only so many hours in the day, and I am only one individual. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't, please subscribe, like, comment, all those good things. I'd appreciate it. And I will catch you next time.